Hey everybody, Austin back again, continuing my Castlevania Let's Play Marathon. As you can see here, we are going to attempt to run through Castlevania II on the 8-bit NES. Now, this was the direct follow-up to the original Castlevania. However, Castlevania II is rather infamous for heavily changing up the gameplay formula. Much like a lot of sequels did back in the day, actually. Zelda 2 did the same thing. Super Mario Bros. 2, despite not changing up the formula as much as these games did, was still a pretty big step in a different direction as well. So, you know, Castlevania 2 in a way is almost the black sheep of the Castlevania family, but in my opinion, I think it's still a great Castlevania game, thanks to its sort of non-linear gameplay setup, and some great music tracks it brought to the table that were reused in later Castlevania games, to some pretty decent visuals and just some generally fun gameplay, in my opinion. I think this is a really solid Castlevania game. Now, this Let's Play is actually going to be set up into two parts, and just to let you know, I'm actually using the Wii Virtual Console service to do this one. Now, the reason I'm doing this is because I want to split this up into two parts. Now, I also don't want to get a game over in order to do that. The only way to get a password in this game is by getting a game over. Now, if you take too much damage in this game, and if you die too many times, you actually get a bad ending. Well, actually, I don't think there really is a quote-unquote good ending in this game. It almost seems like every ending's bad to a degree. But that's just kind of the tone of the game. But you do get multiple endings depending on how well and I think how quickly you play through the game. So in order to save my progress, what I'm going to do is once we're done, I'm going to hit the home key, go to the Wii menu, and then exit out, and then that'll actually save my state exactly where I am. That way, when I come back for part 2, we can pretty much just pick up right where we left off and finish the game. I should be able to do this in 2 Let's Plays. I actually, the other night, I just ran through this game in one sitting. It took me like 3 hours to beat the game in one sitting. And I continued quite a few times, because I hadn't beaten this game in a long time. And so yeah, we should be able to do this in a pretty much 2 hour-and-a-half or so long Let's Plays. Maybe shorter, maybe slightly longer, but we'll see. So, without further delay, let's get right into it. And you're basically thrown into the central hub of the game. Basically, the town that is pretty much dead center of the entire Castlevania II map. And, you know, like I mentioned, this is a Castlevania game where it's sort of non-linear. You can wander around freely, you can talk to people like this. Most of the people give you tips and tricks. You have churches, and if you talk to the priest inside of a church, you'll gain all your health back. He'll say rest here for a while, blah blah blah, restore your health, and so on. Now, if you hit the start key, you can actually bring up your inventory screen. And now, unfortunately, I don't really have anything in my inventory screen. But you do get a lot of items there. And by the end of this whole Let's Play series, pretty much all the item slots will be filled up. And you'll see that and experience that as we go. Now, one thing really huge in this game to note is you actually have a timer at the top. And that isn't so much a timer as it's a clock. It tells you what time of the day it is. So it actually uses the 24-hour cycle. So right now it's 13:06. So basically that means it's 1:06 in the afternoon. And once 1800 hits, it basically goes to nighttime. And then once 6 a.m. hits the next morning, the sunlight will come back out. So you basically have 12 hours of sunlight, 12 hours of nighttime. And, you know, if I let go of the start button, right now it's 13:06, hit it again, it's 13:12 already. It does not rotate or in like real time, like 2 seconds in real time is like 4 to 6 seconds in the game time, maybe even quicker. So the clock does actually rotate through very fast, so that's something to keep in mind. The game will constantly cycle between day and night. Now, this guy's actually going to try to sell me a white crystal. And, you know, I'm going to need that, but I actually want to come in here because this guy, I believe, sells me the holy water. Yes, I do. Now, if I go to my inventory, you can see holy water. By tapping the directional pad, there you go. you have it equipped now. As long as an arrow is on top of it, that's what you have equipped in your inventory. Now, much like classic Castlevania games, pressing up and attack will use your secondary item. Now, you can only have one secondary item equipped at a time. Well, that's not true, actually. One secondary usable item can be equipped at a time, and you utilize it by pressing up and attack, just like in classic Castlevania games. Now, you can also get secondary non-usable items. They'll pretty much constantly be equipped and have different stats. For one, if you get Dracula's Rib and have it equipped, as well as your other secondary attack, it'll actually pretty much automatically put out a shield in front of you. Simon will be carrying a shield around, and as long as you don't attack, the shield will pretty much block any projectile. Now, there's quite a few different just attribute-oriented secondary items you can have equipped at all times as well. So you've got basically a defensive item you can have equipped, and then you have your offensive item, which in this case is my holy water. So now, holy water, most items in this game, if you notice, there's a heart count. The heart count is actually your currency in this game. No coins, no money, it's hearts. And, some items you get will actually use your hearts, like in a classic Castlevania game. For instance, the old axes and daggers and crosses, boomerangs, would use hearts in classic Castlevania games. And the same goes for this game. The only problem is your heart count isn't displayed on the main screen, so you always have to hit start to see where you are. Now, holy water is one of the few that does not use hearts, so you can use holy water pretty much infinitely. And holy water is a huge item in this game. You're going to use it all the time, because as we progress through this Let's Play, we're going to find more rooms like this and more buildings, and you can actually pretty much smash through the walls with holy water, and it's pretty much mandatory to get certain items. So now that I've pretty much laid the groundwork, guys, let's go ahead and get out of this town. Basically, what I'm going to want to do is earn 50 more hearts to basically pay that guy off to give me a crystal. Don't fall in the water in this game, you'll die in one hit. But what I also want to do is earn 100, I think it's 100 to 150 hearts, so I can get the Thorn Whip. And the Thorn Whip is going to be very useful. It's going to be a little bit longer than the whip I currently have, and it's going to be a little more powerful as well. So before we progress too far, let's grind a little bit and get the Thorn Whip. Now, you can actually skip getting the Thorn Whip and you can go straight for the Chain Whip, but the Chain Whip is a little bit farther along, and by the time you get that far, once nighttime hits, enemies start taking a lot of hits to take down. And so yeah, what I usually like to do is like to take a little bit extra time, grind at the beginning. You also get experience points, which is his E, 13. And you will level up in this game. You can level up, I believe, up to 4 times. And your strength will increase. Well, actually, I don't know about your strength. Your hit points will increase, which you see a life bar in the top left-hand corner of the screen. That will go up. And yeah, and you'll also take less damage from enemies. So what a horrible night to have a curse. Now, it actually says that because after you complete Castlevania 1, the story goes... Oops, wrong one. Thought that was the start key. The story goes, after you defeat Dracula in the first Castlevania game, Simon basically gets cursed. And I don't really know what the other details are. Somehow Dracula's body parts get thrown to other parts of the country. I don't know. I haven't read the story in a while. But that's why it says, what a horrible night to have a curse. Simon is basically cursed, and he's got to collect Dracula's pieces, revive him on his own, and then kill him again to make the curse go away or something like that. It's kind of... I did it again. It's kind of weird how it works out story-wise, but yeah. As you can see, enemies are taking more damage already. They pretty much take twice as many hits. Oh wow, that dude took like 4 hits. And this is exactly why you want to upgrade to the Thorn Whip in the beginning. That way you don't have to attack enemies 3 or 4 times in order to take them out. Now, enemies in nighttime do drop more hearts. The hearts are a little bit bigger. That's a half heart. And the half heart, I think gives you 4 hearts. So we have 34, 38, yeah. A full heart, I think, will give you 6 It's either 6 or 8. We'll find out later on once we start getting full hearts. Now, what I like to do sometimes is in nighttime, zombies will basically come out in the towns, as you can see. That's a sort of a zombie or a ghoul, whatever you want to call them. And they take less hits, but they'll still give you a half heart. And you can actually find where they spawn and just kind of trip their spawn point over and over again. And you can basically keep grinding for hearts that way. Just like this. I know, exciting stuff, isn't it? But, I mean, Castlevania 2 is a bit of an action RPG as well as your traditional Castlevania action platformer. It's a hybrid. And really, I think it was one of the earlier hybrids of the two genres, role-playing with action platformer. So it's a hybrid that still works today, and the Castlevania series in general really owes a lot of its current formula, not counting like modern home consoles, but you know, the Nintendo DS and Game Boy Advance releases especially, they really owe their formula to this game. I mean, it's really where the modern 2D Castlevania games got their style. It's sort of all spawned from this game. And now it was pretty much perfected in Castlevania Symphony of the Night, and that's the direct formula games have been sort of replicating ever since. But a lot of those traits kind of came from this game, which is really cool. Get our 2 pellets of life back. Yeah! Alright, so we've got 126. I'm trying to remember which guy sells me the Thorn Whip. Oh, it's in here, I think. We'll go ahead and do that first. We're going to need that crystal though, so we're gonna have to grind away for some more hearts, and then go back, grab that crystal, and then we'll pretty much be on our way. You see, the Thorn Whip is a little bit longer, it's also more powerful, so I'm gonna kill these guys in one hit now. And each of those hearts, I think, gives me 2. Yeah, 32. So I should be able to grind away on these guys. It appears this is actually an even better spawn point than those zombies back and forth up in the town, because once nighttime hits, these werewolves, they'll also give me half a heart. And they'll take less hits now since I have the Thorn Whip. And it looks like they're still giving me experience points. Oh, it looks like you get experience from actually picking up the hearts, not killing the enemies. Ah, okay. So I have 98 experience, pick up a heart, I had 99. So that's interesting. I always thought that building experience came from actually killing the enemies, which explains why, oh, look, just leveled up as well. When you blink like that, I can't even talk straight. when you blink like that, that means you've leveled up. And if my life was low, I would have, my life bar would have refilled itself. Alright, so we've got over 50 hearts now. Let's go up and buy this white crystal. Now the crystal is really important to get. Get it right away when you can. Because basically what you're going to do is you're going to trade it off throughout the rest of the game. You're going to trade it for a blue crystal. Then you're going to eventually trade that blue crystal for a red crystal, which is super crucial. If you don't have that, you can't progress past a certain point in the game. It's just, you can't do it. So, but now we've basically got everything that we need to. So we're going to go ahead and just move our way to the right. And there's going to be either 2 or 3 mansions we'll have to fight on this side of the screen, or this side of the map. Now basically the game, again, is divided up into 2 sides outside of your main beginning town. And the first... Oh! Shoot! I didn't... Ah, that was awful. Totally awful. I didn't mean to do that. I thought I was just gonna jump straight up, but I ended up still holding right, and I jumped right. See, that's 1 death, and that's not good. What I wanted to do is try to get through this Let's Play without... Maybe without dying, or maybe without continuing, and that's not a good start at all. Not at all. I want to try to get a different ending than I did last time I played this game. And, that was just bad. You don't get extra lives in this game. Now, fortunately, now it's nighttime again. And nighttime is bad because enemies take longer to kill. So if you really just want to get through the game... like progress through faster. It's gonna take a little bit longer if you try to scroll through the levels in nighttime, but it's okay. See, now those skeletons were taking. Oh, come on! Really? Shit, that's 2 lives already. I've lost 2 lives at the very beginning of the game. That is just pathetic. Absolutely pathetic. I don't even think that's ever happened to me before. That's just awful. Oh well. We can grind away at hearts, and this is our first mansion. We're going to go ahead and tackle it. And now, one reason the white crystal is good is you can see this platform. You can't, because it's invisible. But if you equip the white crystal, it appears, like so. It's actually not necessary to have here, and I think that's the only platform that you make appear. But, it's just something to note. It's good to know. Oh, that was close. That was a very tight jump. Alright, so we're at our first mansion. Now, basically, the mansions are very crucial to progressing through the game as well. Because what's inside each mansion is one of Dracula's body parts or pieces. And this one, I believe you get Dracula's rib. And these guys actually give me full hearts. So let me try to make these guys spawn back out again. These big, like, gargoyle dudes. There we go. Oh, no heart. No heart again. Man, you guys are useless. Give me some hearts, damn it. That's not a heart. That's a heart. Alright, so 72. 78. Yeah, they only give you 6. Yeah, that's what I thought. Alright, so they're not as lucrative as I thought they would be. They always seem like they'd be more lucrative because they're like a whole heart. A half a heart's only 4. I'm sorry, only gives you 4 in terms of, you know, how many hearts you have in your... for money. But a whole heart is only 6, so you think that doesn't really add up. That doesn't really add up at all. But whatever. Alright, this is actually an invisible platform right here. And there's actually a lot of that in this game. So you have to be careful about that. And it's just a tight jump, just like so. And I think I might have to go down there on the bottom. No. You see where that skeleton is on the bottom of the screen? That set of blocks next to him can be busted open. And that is also pretty crucial if you've never played this game before, because it'll actually make a sort of red book appear. And there's books like that in every single mansion in the game. And they basically give you tips on what you need to do, both in the mansion sometimes and throughout the game. And now, this game is notorious for being very cryptic. But, you know what's funny, as I was playing through it a few weeks back to, you know, ready for this Let's Play, and I was, you know, all the game basically gives you, like, hints as to what to do next. Like, there's a hint that tells you take the red crystal, sit in front of a canyon, and then be swept up by something. And then that's where you go to a canyon, or I'm sorry, a big wall. You'll see it as the Let's Play progresses. You kneel down in front of it with the red crystal, and you get sucked up by a tornado, and you get thrown off to the other part of the map. So getting those books, if you're new to this game, is really important as well. And I'm not going to get it right now, because I don't need to. I know exactly where to go. But if you've never played this game before, I definitely recommend trying to bust open every wall with your holy water, because you will find, you know, hints like that thrown throughout the game. And talking to people is very crucial as well, so don't ignore the people in this game, simply because they'll give you, you know, hints and tips as to where to go next and what to do. And some of the clues are a little confusing, but, you know, once you start realizing what items you have in your inventory and you start connecting the dots, you should be able to figure out what to do without needing a strategy guide or anything like that. You know, I beat Castlevania II back when I was a kid with my friends as well, and we actually did not have a strategy guide for this. We didn't even have the Nintendo Power issue as far as I'm aware. So here's one of those books. Destroy the curse and you'll rule Bram's mansion. Okay, that one's a little cryptic. Invest in an oak stake, yes. This is actually very important. In order to actually finish this mansion, you have to have the oak stake before you can actually collect Dracula's body part. Now, some of these matches will have boss fights, other ones won't. There are... I want to say there's only 2 mansion boss fights total. And then there's Dracula. And then that's it. I think that's it. There might be a third one. I don't remember. A flame flickers inside the ring of fire. And I have no idea what that one means either. Okay, maybe, you know, and they don't always give you useful tips. But there are some tips they give you that are a lot more obvious than what they were just reading off to me just now. So I'm gonna keep, okay, this is a hole right here. You can tell when there's a hole because the enemies will walk, they'll walk the opposite way. Enemies in this game aren't programmed to just go back and forth. They either go one way or they go the other way, and when they hit a wall, they're forced to go back the other way. So let's jump over that pit. And this should be exactly where we need to go. Yep. Select the oak stake and use it on this crystal. Don't miss, because then you have to go back and buy another oak stake. It's only a one-time use item. You now process Dracula's rib. The translation in this game wasn't that great either, but that was typical of NES games. Yeah, you now process. It's supposed to be you now possess Dracula's rib. So now if we equip Dracula's rib up top, see how a shield comes out? And now if I can get some more of those gargoyle guys coming at me. Oops, I didn't want to do that, but okay, whatever. We just go back this way. Now there should be some gargoyle guys here in this next section. Well, if only they would shoot their fireballs at me. Whoa. See? Just like that, you can reflect their fireballs. And it's funny how the fireballs don't actually turn around. They go back the opposite way, but they're still pointing the way they originally were when they went to attack me. So that's basically this mansion. I mean, this is a really simple mansion. Later mansions in the game are a little more complicated. One thing I wanted to know is, you see how there's like hanging dead people down there? You can actually get to that part of the screen, but it's just, you don't get anything for doing it. So there's a lot of things you can quote-unquote explore in this game, but they don't actually give you anything. Almost as if like it was meant to do that, or maybe they wanted to add some items here and there, but they never got around to it. Like they didn't like fully finish the game or something. The game has quite a few rooms like that, and there was actually another room I could have gone to when I had fallen down that hole. I could have gone to the right instead of the left, but the right, just like, you go through all these like platforms and whatnot and pits, but you don't get anything for getting to the end. It's just like a dead end. So it's like, okay. But I think the game was just like kind of designed to do that. Whoa, that was bad. Alright, so we basically got through our first mansion. And so we're going to keep progressing over to the right. Now, I don't remember if the chain whip was at the next town or if it was at the town back. There was actually a staircase we could have gone down in the main overworld, and I pretty much just skipped over it because I knew I wanted to go to the first mansion, well, first. Because it's easy, it's good to get it out of the way, you get Dracula's rib. Yeah, it's just good to do, so... Now this is where the classic spider enemies actually made their first appearance. They were in a lot of other Castlevania games, including the Game Boy versions of the Castlevanias. They were in Super Castlevania 4, Castlevania 3. Whoa! That was unexpected. Ugh. Sorry about that. I wasn't planning on sneezing like that. That just kind of came out of nowhere. Oh, yeah, I hate doing that when I do these videos, but hey, some are completely unavoidable. And I won't be able to edit that one out, because... unless I chop this whole section out, but... This is a Let's Play I really don't want to have to edit, because it's going to be a long Let's Play. I just want to kind of slap all the footage and audio into my template in Vegas and just export it. Keep it short and sweet. Alright. Well, that's not good. So I don't want to die again, because I think I'm going to have a game over if I die once more. But this is a good section to grind for hearts. I remember doing that here the last time I played this game, which again was just a few weeks back. And that's actually kind of why I know exactly what to do right now. It's because I went through this game in full one night a few weeks back. I just, I actually was not planning on doing a Let's Play of this game. I just busted out the game a few weeks back just because I kind of wanted to play it. I hadn't played it in a really long time. But I also wanted to see if I'd be capable of actually beating the game again, because I haven't finished the game in so long. Since before these last few weeks anyways, I haven't finished the game in so long. I mean, it's probably been over 10 years since I last finished this game. But I did. I managed to do it that one night, and yeah, so here we are now. I should be able to get through the game without too many problems. But as you can see, it's daytime again. And thanks to it being daytime, its enemies take less hits. But they also give me less in terms of hearts. And this is going to be a really good item to have. This is a new weapon. You now possess, as the translation is supposed to say, the Sacred Flame. Now, this is another item you can just toss, much like the Holy Water. Unfortunately, this is one of those items that actually uses up your hearts, so it's not really one I recommend using, but it is a fairly decent, offensive weapon. So we're at 187, 186, 185, and just like so. So I actually like to just stick with the Holy Water, because you can still toss it out. It doesn't go that far, but it doesn't utilize your hearts, so... Oh, that was bad. That was dumb. Now up here, I think takes us to the graveyard, or it will. And then I think going to the bottom will eventually take us to the water. Or is this the water? No. Yeah, the graveyard's going to be right over to the right. I'm pretty sure. And it appears there is no church in this town. Oh, maybe there's one up top. But let's see. Yeah, graveyard. Don't need to be going there. There is an item I can get there, but I don't really care about it right now. Actually, I can't even get it yet. I have to have the garlic, and I have no garlic. But I'm sure we will get some garlic here. And this is where you have to start using your holy water to find more people to talk to. Typically people that'll sell you stuff. And there's going to be quite a few things I can buy here, including laurels, I believe. Buy some of my laurels, yes. And I will buy some more of your laurels, because you only get 2 at once, and you can carry up to 4. So the laurels you can equip at the bottom, and basically what they do is they make you invincible for a short period of time. They're very useful, and they're pretty much mandatory for a certain part later on in the game. You have to go through this like really long like poison swamp. In order to get through it, you have to use your laurels, otherwise you'll probably end up dying by the time you get to the end of it. So let's go up here, see what is here. Now I can try to talk to all these people, but I don't really care. Okay, this guy, I think, yeah, I'd like to exchange a white crystal for a blue. There you go. And so now I have a blue crystal, and the blue crystal is actually important to get to our next mansion. And I'll show you why once we get there. So as long as you have the right items and you're talking to the right people, you should get the items you need in order to progress through the rest of the game. It's just kind of how the game works. And let's hope I don't land in some water. Okay, good. That was like a leap of faith jump. And let's go through this door. It's going to turn to nighttime again soon, so we have to be careful. Now, one of the reasons nighttime is not that great, because town's pretty much shut down. So if you need to do something in a town, like visit a church to regain your health, or buy some items, you can't do it. You have to wait until the sunlight comes back up in order to do that. And if you're low on health, well, you've got to play it safe. Now, one thing you can actually do is, if you're really low on health, you can actually get to a town that has a platform above it where zombies won't spawn, like right here, and just sit here, wait the night out. And we only have another minute or two before it turns dark, so let's go ahead and go into here. And I think this guy will sell me some garlic, which the garlic will actually give me a silver dagger. And the silver dagger is a dagger that goes all the way across the screen, I believe. Much like the classic dagger in the other classic Castlevania games. Buy some garlic, yes. And I will buy some more garlic, because you can carry up to 4, and they only give you 2 at a time. So I might as well max it out. I should not need to buy any more garlic for the rest of the game. I'm going to use 1 to get that dagger, and then after that, I'm going to use another on the ferryman, which we're not going to do until the next episode. And then after that, that's it. You don't need to use garlic anymore. So, but yeah, let's go ahead and go over to the graveyard. Yeah, it's going to be nighttime by the time we get over there. Yeah. Let's activate our garlic, and I'll show you why. If you drop garlic in front of one of these hands, this guy appears. And he gives you a silver knife to save your neck. And it kind of does, it kind of doesn't, because again, the silver knife uses your hearts. Thanks. He gave me a second silver knife. That's awesome. Just like so. And it's not really silver. And now I can't use it because I'm out of hearts. So... Now what I'm going to do is... Actually, I'm going to grind for some hearts, because the hearts, they should keep giving me experience points. And these guys are easy to kill. If I get hit by one of these guys, that's just really pathetic on my part, so... Yeah. Alright, let's get another heart. Give me another heart. Yeah, it's still giving me experience points, so let's go ahead and just grind it out. Because again, these guys are really easy. There's no excuse for me to get hit by these guys. What I was going to do is just sit on a staircase because no one can get to me on a staircase. Unless there's like flying birds or crows or something, or bats, but I don't think there's any in this town. So I don't have to even worry about that. Just grind out for hearts, work towards leveling up again. Leveling up is great, especially when you're low on life, because you'll level up in the middle of your game, almost dead, and then your life bar will extend sometimes and then refill at the same time. So I'm still gathering experience points, which is very good. The soundtrack in this game is great. The track selection is a little limited. You hear a lot of the nighttime theme and you hear a lot of the daytime theme. But neither is really bad. That's not really a bad thing. They're both great tracks. The mansion theme's not... Yeah, it's okay. It fits the mansion, but it's not my favorite track in the game. But pretty much the tracks you're going to hear the most is the nighttime theme and the daylight theme. And then the town theme. The town theme's always a great track as well. So, you know, if you are the kind of person that, you know, music gets on your nerves rather easily if you hear it too much, you know, the music will get repetitive in this game too, but for someone like me, I'm just like, it's cool. I like the music in this game, so. And here we go, we just leveled up. So it looks like grinding out was actually a great idea. And now I'm starting over. But I'm at the part of the game where these guys stop giving me experience points. So look, I'm going to collect this heart, but I'm not going to get any experience. And I don't think I'm going to continue to get experience until I get over to the second half of the map, which we're not going to experience in this Let's Play. We're already at almost the 40-minute mark, and I still have at least another mansion to go. So it's probably going to be the hour to hour and a half mark before we're even done with this section of the game, and before I cut this off. So... even though I'm not getting experience points, I'm still building money, which money is pretty crucial if you want to upgrade your weapons. Like, the chain whip, I think, is 100 to 150 hearts. And, yeah, sunlight's back out. And so we're basically going to go the opposite direction now, because I basically hit the graveyard. And the graveyard is pretty much a dead end. There's not really anywhere you can go except die and fall in some water. Fall in some water, then die. Because you don't die before falling in the water. You only die after. Alright, so moving on. We basically got everything we need in this town. Oops. Except reading the sign. We haven't read the sign yet. There are some signs, but unfortunately, you can't really activate them all the time. Like, if I press B right here, I'm not reading the sign. It's not till I'm, like, right here that I can read it. So, we end up jumping through the air and reading the sign at the same time. Like so. Just like that. You press B to activate the signs, but it seems only the left part of the sign is what activates. So... Alright, so coming down this way will actually take us to our next mansion. But you know what? Ah, screw it. Let's just go back this way. We'll go ahead and tough it out with the Thorn Whip. The Thorn Whip, you know, what I like to do is actually earn up more money and go get the Chain Whip before I tackle this mansion. But in this case, I'm just going to go straight for the mansion. Alright, so this is why you need the blue crystal. Blue crystal is necessary in order to do this. So, equip your blue crystal, hold down, a few seconds, and voila! Now, if you try to fall into the water without having the blue crystal equipped and without holding down, you'll die. So you have to have the blue crystal in order to do this. But this will basically take us straight to our second mansion. And I think that is almost pretty much half the mansions in the game. I think there's... No, that's 2 out of 5. I think there's 5 mansions. So... Alright, go ahead and equip the holy water again. And... I totally don't remember where I'm supposed to go in this mansion. I think I might yeah, let's go up. I don't remember if I'm supposed to go right or up. Let's go up. You know, part of the reason of me beating this game a few weeks back was to figure out where I'm supposed to go in these mansions before I do the Let's Play. But now, it's been a few weeks, I'm kind of like, I forgot where I'm supposed to go already. So we'll just go this way and hope for the best. This is where the mansions really start getting bigger. And they start getting tougher. And if I remember correctly, this part isn't even really necessary. The problem is I don't remember correctly. I remember the spikes, and I remember getting hit. But I don't remember whether it was necessary to come here or not. So... as long as I don't get hit by the spikes, I don't really care. The spikes do a lot of damage in this game, just like most other Castlevania games. Spikes are really bad in the Castlevania series. In the old ones especially, they always kill you in one hit. It's not really until the newer ones where they start doing less damage. Now, Castlevania Adventure 2 on the Game Boy, I think they learned from the mistakes of the first game, and the spikes just do a lot of damage. I think that was the first Castlevania where spikes actually just did damage and did not kill you in one hit. And thankfully they did not kill you in one hit in that game, because there's a lot of spikes in that game. There's a lot of spikes in Castlevania Adventure 2 for Game Boy. Okay, yeah, I'm supposed to go to the right. That's right. Problem is, it was a very tight jump, and I didn't want to risk it because of the water. And you see, this is like sort of a walk-through wall. Just like so. So I was supposed to go right. I didn't want to risk it, because I only have 1 life left. I mean, I might very well only have... this might be my last life. I don't remember how the game calculates lives. You know, some games, if it says lives, or lives 1, that's your last life, and if you die, it's game over. But other games, it'll take you to lives 0, and that'll be your last life, but I don't remember how this game operates. So I don't know if this is my actual last life, or, you know, if I get 1 more after this. I hope I get 1 more, just in case I make another stupid mistake, like jump off a platform I didn't mean to. Alright, okay, that's not the one. I'm maxed out on hearts now, look at that. 256 is the maximum amount of hearts you can get. Whoa. Now, I also wanted to make note of something else, is in this game, time stops when you're inside a mansion, so if you really wanted to, you could literally just, like... well, you could always just hit the start button in the normal map field. If you wanted to, just walk into a mansion, drop your controller, and time basically freezes. So you don't have to worry about time progressing. But that also means that when you come out of the mansion, it's still going to be nighttime if it was nighttime before. So, the time does not progress once more inside a mansion. Time stands still. That's actually a cool effect up top. I never noticed that. Oh, look at that. See, garlic in the graveyard summons a stranger. And what did I do in the graveyard? I dropped garlic by one of the hands, and this guy just randomly appeared, gave me the knife. So, you know, like I mentioned earlier, there are some books that actually give you legitimate tips that make sense, you know. And you might read the book and go, oh, I should do that. I should try that. There's a graveyard I just saw upstairs, you know. But what I was going to mention is above, when I walked up, I noticed there was water above me, above the ceiling. And it dawned on me that, oh, hey, yeah, that's right. I'm under a sea of water, basically. You know, I had to descend through a lake in order to get to this mansion. So, you know, it's an effect I never really noticed before. Alright, so I'm basing it the wrong way. I need to get the oak stake before I can get this item. So let's go back and through this risky section. Because there's a really, really tight jump I didn't want to try to traverse. Simply because, you know, there was the possibility of me dying. So, now what should I do here? I'm going to use this. And then, oops. Well, that's not working. Damn it. Double damn it. Well, so much for that. Now, you know, it doesn't really matter that much if I get a game over. It's just the problem is, when you get a game over, you lose all your money, and you basically work towards getting a worse ending in the game. So that's why I don't want to get a game over. So this is where things start getting stressful. You're just like, oh, I got 3 hits or less, you know, maybe even less. Because an enemy might take away 2 hit points. They might take away all 3 hit points. We'll see. So I could very well only have 1 hit left. Depending. We'll see. And unfortunately, none of these guys are giving me experience points. And again, I don't think I'm going to get experience points until I get back to the other side of the map. And when I mean other side, I basically mean the left-hand side of the initial town that you start from. Destroy the curse with Dracula's heart. This is where I get the oak stake from. It's always the same kind of guy that sells it to you. Invest in an oak stake. Yes, please. Super tight jump. Now let's do this. Now really all I need to do is get through this part without dying, and then I can get the body piece for Dracula's body piece, then die, and I'll still have the body piece. And actually, now that I think about it, even if I die, I should still have the oak stake I purchased, so I don't want to bank on it though. That's all. I'm pretty sure I'll still have it. I should. Now, if I wanted to, I could... just like so. You know, I've got 256 hearts. I'm gonna go ahead and just keep using this fire weapon. Alright, get that oak stake out. You now process Dracula's heart. The translation was so bad at parts. The translation's fine at other parts, but in some parts it's just awful. But again, that's how NES games were back then. I mean, so many NES games had awful translations. You know what I'm gonna do is actually use some laurels. See? Totally invincible. And I'll just buy some more because I'm gonna have a lot of money by the time I get out of this place, so... Whoa there. Whoa, that was close. I mean, again, a set of laurels are only 50 hearts. But there's also a mansion later on in the game where you're given laurels for free. So it's like, okay. I don't remember which mansion that is, but yeah. Oh! Shoot! Oh, come on, man. Damn it. What a waste of those laurels. I had a feeling that was going to happen. Well, I think we've just officially gotten one of the bad endings. That's a bummer. Total bummer. And I just lost all my money too. So I'm back to 0 hearts. I've got to grind all over again. That's the biggest shame, is you lose your hearts, and what I wanted to do is work back towards basically buying the chain whip. And the chain whip is the next step up. I don't think it's quite as long as the thorn whip, but it's definitely more powerful. And yeah, it just kind of sucks. And then after that, you buy the Morning Star. And then after that, you're pretty much just given the Flame Whip as long as you have the Morning Star. So... And the Flame Whip is obviously the best whip in the game. One of the few Castlevania games to actually have a Flame Whip, by the way. You do get a Flame Whip in Castlevania Bloodlines, as you guys saw in my last Let's Play episode. You also get a pseudo Flame Whip in Dracula X for the Super Nintendo, and I'm pretty sure the Turbo Duo as well. Is in that game, if you use your crash attack without having a secondary item, as long as you have enough hearts, Richter will basically go up into the air, he'll do like a little dinky scream, and then he'll come down and just lay out a really long Flame Whip, which is pretty cool. He might actually do that in Symphony of the Night as well, if you play as Richter. I don't remember, though. It's been a while since I played as Richter in that game, but Castlevania 3, unfortunately, does not have a Flame Whip. Castlevania 4, unfortunately, does not have a Flame Whip. But the first Flame Whip was in this game. 80 hearts. Let's grind for another minute, because my dumbass died. And yeah, when it says you only have 1 life left, it means that you actually have no lives left. You're on your last life. Gotta love it how every game's different. Again, some games, it'll actually say you have 0 lives left, if you actually have 0 lives left. Others will just say life 1 or something like that, and that'll actually indicate your final life that you're playing, but it's not always so obvious without actually, you know, losing that life and figuring it out yourself, whether you're gonna get a game over or not. Alright, 116, that's good enough. You know, the chain whip might very well only be 100 hearts. I think it's only 100. But we should be good. Alright, let's get out of here. And look, we only have about 5 in-game hours of, I'm sorry, before it's nighttime again. So we're not going to get very far before nighttime strikes once more, so... Oh, shoot, I was still on my laurels. Thought I was on the holy water. You know, you definitely have to watch out for that. If you are on the wrong item and you forgot, you'll end up using that item when you meant to use something else, like, again, the holy water. What a horrible night to have a curse. He always says the same thing. I'm assuming that you talking to yourself anyway. Alright, so basically what we can do, I think, is go down this way. And this will wrap us back around to that staircase we missed towards the beginning. And basically what it'll essentially do is take us to the next town we need to go to. So we're going to go ahead and do that. We're just going to cut through this place. I'm not going to try to let the night time itself out. I just want to get to the town and then buy the chain whip once I get there, once daylight comes. And then move back to the center of the game. And then we're pretty much done with this Let's Play. We're pretty much about halfway through the game now that I think about it. So let's just continue to grind away at hearts. Might as well, because we're here. Look at that, there's a church in this one, so at least I can refill my health. Unfortunately, there's not a church in every single town in the game, so just because you get to a town doesn't really mean it's a total safe zone. Doesn't mean you're going to refill your health. Which I think is actually good, that we can't totally rely on the churches. You actually have to play slightly well, especially if you're trying to get the best ending in the game. I'm almost maxed out on hearts already. We still have 6 in-game hours before the daylight comes up. Jeez. So, you know, I'm basically maxed out on hearts. I don't really care at this point. Let's just sit here. And one thing I did want to mention is that if you sit on a staircase, you can just actually hold down the button and you'll constantly whip. I'm just like sitting here with my arms crossed and he's whipping. And he actually whips faster than you can normally. Same if you hold up an attack, he'll do his holy water or his item attack quicker. Just like that. It's actually really good to know because you're going to be in some mansions that sort of require you to be able to do that. Now you can attack pretty quickly if you time it just right, but if you're the kind of person that likes to mash your buttons, you're going to attack pretty inconsistently. Like right now I'm mashing the attack button. And it seems to be working, but God, I'm mashing really fast to get it to work. It's just not worth it. So what I recommend is just timing your attacks right like that. Bam, 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 bam. But again, if you're on a staircase, just hold it. And you'll keep attacking. Waiting for time to pass. Simon's doing a little jig on the stairs. There we go. Now I think this doorway right above me might be where the chain whip is, so I think so. Yes, I will. I would love a chain whip. The chain whip makes a pretty cool, like, little sound. It's like a thicker sound than the typical, you know, leather and thorn whips. So, alright, now we're gonna make our way back to the first town in the game. Let's see what this guy says. Algiba. I don't even know where that is, but I'm sure we'll get there eventually. Clues to Dracula's riddle are in Berkeley Mansion. Berkeley Mansion might have been the first mansion we were at. I don't remember, though. I don't honestly know the mansion names. I just know that each one is a mansion, but I don't know their actual names. So, you know, the names they're giving me, I'm just like, okay, sure, thanks, Berkeley Mansion. Is that which of the 5 mansions I've been to? I have no idea. You know, there might actually be like a sign before the mansions that you can read. We buy a dagger, yes. Now this is actually a dagger that does not use hearts, but it doesn't go that far across the screen. So, not that far at all, actually. But But it is an extra free hit. Unfortunately, if you like jump forward and use it, there's really no point, because you jumping forward with your whip actually goes farther than you jumping forward with a dagger, which I find to be kind of funny. So sit in place, use the dagger. It can go a tiny bit longer. Good for those platforms that you have to jump over and there's an enemy on the other side, so it's not completely useless. A rib can shield you from evil. Well, I already demonstrated that. Alright, so this is basically the staircase we missed earlier. I just pretty much walked past it. Now what I could have done is right in the beginning, grinded away at hearts, gone down this staircase, and got the chain whip right away. Now that I think about it, that's probably what I should have done, but yeah, you live and learn. I forgot that the town was like immediately just right past that staircase, so... But whatever. I like kind of just working my way around and then like looping back, I guess you could say. So... yeah, the dagger isn't completely useless. It's actually killing these guys in one hit. Yeah, nice. 50 hearts, well spent. Ow. Alright, so what I'm going to do is actually go up to the church, refill my health all the way, and then we're basically going to call it a game. And that's it. So... rest here for a while. Why, thank you, I think I will. I'm just going to stay here forever, thanks. I don't really want to, you know, fight Dracula, and yeah. I like the bluish nature of this church, yeah. So peaceful compared to the brown and gray of the rest of the game. No, I'm just kidding. Alright guys, well, I'm gonna go ahead and just leave it here. Again, part 1 of a 2-part Castlevania Let's Play series, Castlevania 2, I'm sorry, Let's Play series. Now we're basically halfway through the game. Again, like I mentioned, the main town that we started out in is basically like the central point of the entire map of Castlevania 2. So we basically did everything we could by going to the right of the town. Now, next we're going to do everything we can going to the left side of the town, which means getting to the other mansions, getting the other items I need, which is about, I've got about half of the items already. So, we're going to get the rest of the items in the game. 1, 2, 3, 4, there's only 5 more items to get, actually. That's funny. Aside from the Morning Star and the Flame Whip. Everything else is, yeah, we're pretty much halfway through the game already, guys. And, so, yeah, in the next Castlevania 2 Let's Play session, we'll basically be completing the game in one fell swoop. So, I'm going to go ahead and cut it off here, guys. I'd like to say thanks for watching, and I'll be back with some more Castlevania Let's Plays, as well as part 2 of this Castlevania 2 Let's Play very soon. So, let's go ahead and hit the Wii menu, just to make sure we saved it. Otherwise, it won't save. And there we go. That's it, guys. Have a good night, or good day, and I'll catch you soon. Stay tuned.